It's Open House Thursday on YourView. Welcome to the show. I am Morayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. Hello, Obiajilu Ubo. How are you doing today?
Excellent morning.
Good to see you.
I'm doing amazing. Excellent morning, ladies.
Morning.
What's up?
So, promotion for the care mentorship program is in full gear now. I've been talking it small before, but now I finished all the other programs that I have, and I'm focusing on this. The next class will be starting September 17th, and it will run to the 21st of November. Oh. And it's basically for clarity of assignments, resourcefulness, and efficiency. And this is going to be the second cohort. We had the first one in January. So every year now, I'll be doing it twice a year. The first class will be in January. The next class will be in September every year. And some persons have been asking me, is it possible that we pay in installments? I have that sorted as well. So if you're ready for mentorship, I'm here for you.
Nice, Madam Mentor. Good. Yes. How are you doing?
I'm still begging for donations.
Yeah, lawyer.
Yes.
Yeah, lawyer.
In continuation of my birthday gift to the Lucas Cancer Foundation, I'm still talking about childhood cancers, and today I'll talk about brain tumors. So brain tumors are mostly, most common solid tumors in children, and it grows in the brain. Usually does not go outside the brain. Tumors are abnormal growth of tissues, and brain tumors are either malignant or benign. They are tumors that originate in the cells of the brain. They are mostly 90% chances of, recovery if they are detected early. And most of the cases that we have, when detected early, we have success stories. I'll be bringing some of the survivors on the show, maybe in September.
Okay.
And please don't forget, follow my page and then follow the GoFundMe link to donate. I'll be having lunch with you on my birthday.
Hello, Mario.
Hi.
Looking nice and bright.
Yeah.
Both of you had a memo of
I think so.
Right?
Our energies were in sync this morning.
My God, that's what everybody talks about these days. Energies and energies. I'm like, don't people have any tangible thing that they talk about? We always talk about these energies. It's intangible. I'm not saying energy. I'm not saying that it's not important. I'm saying it's intangible. People talk about the intangible things a lot these days. Anyways, one tangible thing that happened yesterday, I went for dinner. It was for a send-forth and reception for Dr. Muktari Aminu Kano, who was the outgoing DG for Nigerian Conservation Foundation, and just to wish him, success in his future endeavors, and also congratulations to Dr. Joseph Onoja, who will be taking his place. Yes, just a wonderful family that I found myself, the NCF, and I love being an ambassador for the NCF.
Nice. Fantastic. Well done. I don't know what to say.
Say something. We like your hair. We like the color of your hair. What inspired the color?
Yeah, so I'm off today. I'll be gone for 2 weeks just to go and rest.
Miss you.
Do you know what I want?
Yeah.
I want towels.
Okay.
Like real towels,
towels.
Absorbent towels.
Yes. I know the kind of towels.
Yes. Even if it's a face towel, I just would need one please, really in my life.
All right, so I'll be in the UK for 2 weeks. I'll be reaching out to our fans in the United Kingdom.
Oh,
God.
God.
Already there, so.
Yes. Oh, Morayo.
You guys should do a meet and greet.
I'll try to meet and greet maybe sometime next weekend.
Yeah.
You know?
Please come back with the British accent. You have the American already, so add top that one.
So go 2 weeks and develop on that.
I'm telling you, develop it from the plane.
Father in heaven.
From the plane.
Actually, this trip is really to reconnect with family and friends. I've been disconnected for so many years.
I'm so happy for
so I'm
you.
just going to say hello to people that are my friends, people that I've parted with. I'm going to go say hello to them. That's all I'm doing. Next one, I'll just sneak into the UK, have my own fun.
Now run out.
Get out. So this time I'm trying to really intentionally see people, say hello, connect back, and
enjoy, have
be
fun.
there 2 weeks.
Take pictures, please.
If I remember.
Oh, please try.
I hardly remember to do this. I'll try. She was already sent me a message.
Yes, so
please,
take
from
pictures.
The airport, please take pictures.
We're waiting.
Okay, let's go on a break. When we come back, we go through the front pages of the papers. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. right back. Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Stay tuned. Your View will be Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're going to start with the nation. PDP Board of Trustees failed to resolve Atiku and Wike rift. Free train passenger terrorists have moles across Nigeria. NBC finds Trust TV 5 million naira for a documentary on bandits. Russia-Ukraine war, Nigerian varsity to absorb 2,500 students. Pension funds hits 14.2326 trillion naira. And I think that's Moreplex TV has complied with pay-per-view directives. And Ashomole dismisses row over the Muslim ticket. Okay. We're starting with?
I wanted to take the free train passenger in the nation. So,
Yes.
Mustafa Imam, an associate professor of medical biochemistry at the Osman Dafodio University, was one of those 5 recently released, and he was talking about moles in the government. He said that the terrorists are so organized, well organized, that to the extent that trading goes on in their camp, and that they have moles planted across the country, that the government needs to act as fast as possible to release, or how they say it, release the remaining captives within with the terrorists, that they have a 1-year-old child and a female non-Nigerian, an almost 90-year-old woman. He talked about a lot of things in the papers on this issue, but I think intelligence is...
Okay, let me take the story on the NBC has invoked a fine on Trust TV, if you recall, they actually broadcasted that documentary on Zamfara State. I think I remember what it was called. So they invoked a 5 million naira fine, and they must pay that because according to them, they breached the sections 3.1, which says that no broadcast shall encourage or incite to crime, lead to public disorder or hate, be repugnant to public feelings, or contain offensive reference to any person or organization alive or dead, or generally be disrespectful to human dignity. And if you recall, some of these, the captured children from these schools, many of them are still in captivity. And you coming on to say you're the one that actually captured them is itself quite gruesome to the families and loved ones of those who are still in captivity. So these are part of the things that NBC was saying that it was wrong. However, I think the Press Freedom Center has said that the NBC, what they did was unjustifiable and unacceptable, and that is an injustice to the media. And even Trust TV said that on their own part, they actually thought they were informing the public on the thorny issues concerning this in banditry and terrorism. They didn't think that their intention wasn't to incite the situation.
Yeah, so this is a Nima story. I was surprised I didn't see that you didn't take it. It's the NBA saying that they may petition NJC over the imprisonment of the human rights lawyer.
I wanted to take it on that.
Okay. So we remember the lawyer Inibehe Efyong, who was sentenced to a month in jail. And the NBA said that they have tried diplomatically to sort of resolve the issue, but that the chief judge is not, willing to listen to them. And so they said that the truth is that, in fact, the proceedings in the way it was carried out wasn't done properly. And so this could lead them to escalate it to the Nigerian Judicial Council that has the right to, to probe them and also sanction judicial officials. And so we would see what happens. They're just saying that the way in which he was finally convicted and sentenced was not done properly. Am I right? Am I right?
Yeah, so Igbinedion University in Okada, Edo State, has entered into a partnership with the VN Karazin Kharkiv National University, Ukraine, to absorb about 2,500 Nigerian students displaced by the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war. This was mentioned by the representative of the Ukrainian University in Nigeria, Cliff Ogbede. He announced this yesterday in Abuja, and he said the agreement will ensure that the displaced students are able to continue their education in Nigeria. And there's something else he said. He said in this new collaboration, the two universities will jointly develop educational activities, expanding opportunities for access to all levels and forms of quality higher education, educational programs and courses based on the recommendations of the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, UNESCO, as well as the implementation of the right to academic mobility. So this is more like there's a war going on, and they're still thinking about their educational system, so that even students who are not from their country, who are students in the university, can still continue their education irrespective of the war. That's how a government that is serious about the educational system takes up things.
Moving on now quickly to Punch. Rising terror threats. National Assembly leaders threat rallies security chiefs for protection. Lagos man tricks baby mama, disappears with 3-year-old twins. Protests as gunmen kill abducted Lautech student hotelier. Oyinlola Makinde tipped to lead Atiku's campaign. Outrage as Buhari gifts Niger Republic 1.1 billion naira SUVs. And pay rise, FG excludes state varsities as to kicks. Okay, major headline.
Oh, sorry. This baby mama case, Lady Bola Tito Adeni is accused ex-lover and children's dad, so she got pregnant. Baby daddy. So at the time when she was 2 months pregnant, he cut off the relationship, cut off every ties with her. She reached out to him throughout her pregnancy. He didn't show up. She handled her pregnancy, her delivery through CS. She was cared for by her parents. She's lived with her parents. And then one of the babies falls sick because she had twins. One of them falls sick, and the father came visiting. Usually when he comes visiting, he drops 1,000 naira, just comes to check up on these children, and then leaves. And suddenly he said to her that, they're not doing well. He has a traditional way of taking care of them. Tricked her to Songwater, leaves her there, takes the children back to his residence in Ikorodu. She doesn't have an address. She's not been able to reach him. What broke my heart is that she did the right thing. She reported to the police because this is a clear case of kidnapping. By default, in a case where there is no marriage, the only parent of such children is that mother. He has to go and acknowledge those children by legal means as his children for him to be able to lay claim and take them. So what he's done, he's kidnapped her children and left. And she reported to the police. She was made to pay 30,000. They were asking for 100,000 to do track and arrest. She was only able to raise 30,000. The police spokesperson here, who then was speaking, he said that, that the police officer she claimed took that money from her, one police officer, one Juliana, denied it. And I do not believe that account of the story because I know.
Well, let's just go by the report.
I'm going by the report, and she paid that amount of money according to her. And now, till now, a man whose mother, girlfriend, and all of those people are reaching out to her and saying he's dumped the children somewhere cannot be arrested in Lagos. I don't believe it's possible.
Okay,
I believe I'm using this means to join voices with her. Please get her kids for her. Yeah. She deserves to have her children and be certain as to their welfare. If he needs these children, the legal thing should be done. No man should just come and pick up somebody's children and walk away. It's enough trauma to carry a pregnancy through to CS and deliver them and then wonder where they are when they are sick.
Painful, the major.
So I have another human interest story. Students of the Ladoke Akintola University of Technology and the youths in the community staged a protest on Wednesday, and this is because one of their final year students, her name Rachel Okpadele, who was kidnapped, has been killed by her kidnappers, and this was after a ransom had been paid. They said she was working in a particular hotel, and she and the owner of the hotel were kidnapped, and ransom was asked. They had asked for 100 million first, and then they reduced it to 50 million. The family was able to just raise 5 million, and they begged them. So they asked them to come and drop the ransom. They had a bike man and someone on the bike to take the ransom to these kidnappers. They said they gave them several directions. When they finally got to the last place, they asked the bike man to go there alone while the other person on the bike with him was supposed to stay behind, and that eventually he had gunshots, so he just knew something had gone bad. Anyway, it's been confirmed that they had been killed even after ransom had been paid. The youths and the students are upset. They said because we have cried, we have talked to government, we have talked to police, everybody, and our cry just ended up on social media. Nothing was done until these lives were taken, and that's why they staged the protest.
Really sad. Okay, I was going to take the story, political story. So Governor Makinde and the former governor of Osun State, Lagose Oyinlola, are being penned down to be the Director General for the Atiku Abubakar campaign organization. This has been delayed because they're actually waiting to get Wike's, the Governor Wike's, who he prefers. However, the fact that they picked these two possibilities was a strong indication that Southwest is going to be the deciding factor. So the North votes can almost be predicted. The Southeast is almost clear. But the Southwest is still very, there's a strong possibility that anybody can have it. So for having the DG from that region is critical for PDP to be able to get as much votes for their principal as much as possible. However, the fact that Governor Wike is yet to resolve the grouse that is ongoing between the party is a problem. Is the reason why they've not been able to launch the campaign, officially launched the campaign organization for Atiku Abubakar.
I think they need to appease the gods and cut white goats.
Yeah, let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we continue with the review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Pure white goats.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. Still reviewing Punch. You see how the story?
Yes, the major headline in Punch. So yesterday there was a leadership meeting between the Senate and various military formations and security chief and intelligence agencies in the country. And the Senate President, Dr. Ahmed Lawan, kept bemoaning the spate of insecurity across the country, saying that nowhere is now safe, including Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory. And he said this is becoming very frightening. There's nowhere to go. There's nowhere to hide. It's affecting everybody, and it's crippling our economy. And so he went ahead to say that there's been a lot this administration has done concerning insecurity, but yet we're not seeing it. That the legislative have given all the support to the executive to ensure that the security issues are solved, but yet we're not getting the benefits or the dividends of everything that has been spent. And he went to compare what has happened since 1999 and how this administration has done better in terms of insecurity. So he is calling on the security agencies to ensure that they all work together. They need to sit up, because this is beginning to affect everybody. Really, really painful. I was actually going to move on now to Daily Sun. Senate moves to solve insecurity. Imo CP orders probe into killing of 67 security guards. Abia records 3 cases of monkeypox. Government warns residents. FG justifies 1.4 billion naira car purchase for Niger Republic. Nigeria leads in global malaria death, says WHO. Gunmen shoot AIG, kill orderly and journalist died in Kaduna. ASU strike, Nans asked Buhari to sack education minister. Protests as abductors kill LAUTECH students. Talked about that earlier. We have no preferred candidate in Atiku, Tinubu, Obi, says INEC. And okay, I've taken Abia. Okay, which story are we taking in Daily Sun?
Abia records 3
monkeypox
cases. So, according to the state, Moga at the top on the state epidemiologist, let me just speak English. So Peace Nwogugu, she says that they had 3 cases and 2 of them recovered rapidly. So they have just 1 case. So she said that they're also doing contact tracing and collection of samples for testing from those 3 cases confirmed in their state. And she used the opportunity to ask all, usual protocols should be observed, other guidelines should be followed about washing hands, staying away, and the populace should, or the people of the indigenous of the state should do their part in preventing the spread of this virus.
Okay, talking about diseases, the World Health Organization also just released a report, and it shows that Nigeria is leading in malaria death by 31.9%. It says Africa alone has about 228 million cases that's had in 2020, which accounts for 95% of the cases worldwide, and sadly 96% of deaths worldwide. 4 African countries have been, account for half of all the malaria cases in the world and deaths in the world, and Nigeria is leading that. Anyway, the DG of World Health Organization confirmed this report and says that when COVID came, it really affected some of the work on malaria across Africa, but they are back on, trying to make sure that, they change this, do all that is needed, all the strategies and everything that is needed to improve and bring about the progress in the fight against malaria. So in 2022,
the National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS, are calling on the President Muhammadu Buhari, to sack the Minister of Education, Malam Adamu, over what they described as gross incompetence. Now, the NANS president, Sunday Asefo, in his statement yesterday, had said that the minister is showing a lot of ineptitude with his failure to resolve this protracted strike that the ASU has been carrying all along since the February 14, and that they are saying now that he lacks the capacity required to manage such an important ministry. And he has also shown over the years that he doesn't have adequate knowledge of that office, and he's showing that there's no empathy at all concerning the plight of Nigerian students. And so they are calling on the president to, relieve him of his duty and find someone who's more capable to handle that, saying that ASU has gone on strike cumulatively for 18 months since Adamu has been in position.
I was going to take the story about the terror that happened in Kaduna. So 2 things happened. First, the AIG, that's the Assistant Inspector General of Police of Audu Madaki, I think he's from the Zone 12 Police Command, was shot in the leg. Thankfully, he did not die, but the spokesperson said that he's alive, that they're yet to get the full details of what happened and how the assailants had attacked him. Similarly, that same Tuesday night, a family was attacked. So Mr. Let me get the name right, Mr. Daniel Yatai was killed. Is the father of Philip Yatai. So according to the story, gunmen entered their house about 11 p.m. at night, shot through the window and killed the father. came in and shot him and finished him up, according to what the papers said. Went away with one of their daughter, one of the daughters, 21-year-old Brenda, who is also a student of the Kaduna Polytechnic. And then they got back to the family saying that they wanted 15 million naira ransom to be able to release Brenda, who's currently in custody with the abductors. I mean, this is same terror going around in Kaduna State. Kaduna is like really not a safe place right now. Moving on now quickly to Vanguard. Insecurity in Nigeria no longer attractive for FDI State Senate. PDP crisis festers as pro-Wike BOT members boycott board and NWC meeting. NBA vs. Olanipekun, Kumbi Ogunde takes leave of absence from legal practice over the letter to SIPEM. Same fake ticket, those on trial for corruption, now new voice of Christianity, says Oshomali. 2023 Muslim ticket slap on the faces of Christians, says Bishop Baptist Conference, Ogun Baptist Conference. Effiong's imprisonment, NBA threatens to drag Akwa Ibom CJ to NJC. Kaduna Varsity defies ASU strike, resumes 2021 second semester. And yeah, okay, which story?
Interestingly, the NBA story. So the firm of Olanipekun has had a lawyer, Kumbi Ogunde, who wrote soliciting for brief to a company called SIPEM, an oil company. And in that brief, some compromising comments, according to her, which were statements that were wrongly concluded, or wrong conclusions were reached from the statement in her letter, suggesting that, you know, they could sort of arrange something for that firm in an abusive way. She has decided to step down from practice. She says she's going on a leave of absence from legal practice. This is because this issue has affected herself psychologically, also affected her, the founder of the firm, Wole Olanipekun, as well as, you know, members of the firm. And, you know, it has bred bad blood and brought great pain, thoroughly embarrassed the founder of the firm and herself. And she says because of that, she'll be stepping down. She said that this matter was, you know, also blown out of proportion by media, and that the impact of it, you know, affected them. But in the same vein, the NBA had written, and they're still asking that the LPDC investigates this issue. They've also asked that Wole Olanipekun, who is the founder of the firm where she was with, steps down to allow, you know, an unbiased investigation into the matter. It's very interesting, no?
Yeah. So Kaduna State University have resumed the second semester of the 2020-2021 academic session for their undergraduates as a result of this strike that is happening. They said the resumption is for the continuation of the second semester examination suspended because of the ASU strike. Now, according to the VC, he's saying that the school does not have any industrial dispute with the local branch of ASU, and there's no need to keep the children and the students at home. And he's warning that there will be severe consequences for students who do not resume and also lecturers who do not resume.
That's good news. All right, let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll move on to our hot topic of the day. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So Christmas came early for Niger Republic. In the bid to tackle insecurity, our president of the Federal Executive Council meeting came up with the idea to purchase 1.4 billion naira worth of cars, not just cars, luxury cars, to help our Western neighbor, Western African neighbor. The Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, gave this confirmation, explaining that providing intervention in Niger Republic is not new, and it is the prerogative of the president to approve such a purchase. If I watched the clip when she was being asked questions concerning this, you know, she kept using the word, the president made an assessment. The president made an, you know, she kept using the word assessment. I'm thinking, our president, who has told us he's tired, he's making assessments, and he's old, and he's making assessment concerning stuff like this. What are your thoughts? Do you think this is in line with I'm trying to find the right word so I don't come across, you know, do you think it's right, let me just make it simple, for him to approve 1.4 billion, especially because we can't confirm if this was approved by the National Assembly. We can't confirm if there was a budget allocation for this. We can't confirm this. We're just being told by the Honorable Minister that based on the President's assessment, he has approved this purchase. What are your thoughts on this? Mariam, want to go? Or
I thought our President had a little care for the Nigerian people. I thought he did. But with every step, with every action, it's becoming clearer to me, personally, these are my personal views, that I don't think this president is taking us serious. I don't think he understands the magnitude of what the Nigerian populace is going through. I don't think he even has a glimpse of the situation of the average Nigerian. We have a lot of issues. ASU is on strike. We don't have resources to attend to them. We constantly have dollar increment. Inflation is hitting everybody. Kerosene, I read it in the papers yesterday, has increased. The common man who relies on as simple as kerosene to cook their meals, which we even know is not even healthy, now they may not even be able to afford it. We have issues. Our healthcare is, there's nothing happening right like we expected, like this administration promised that they were going to, salvage most of the situations they met on ground. They have left it worse than they met it. And I hear that we have money to give another country. I've never seen a father who will leave his children hungry and go and be feeding another person, and go and be feeding another woman's children, except you have an interest. What is the president's interest in that country? Okay, we need to probe that. All the people who, I don't believe president just made a directive and people moved. Who are those people who are supposed to look at the, is it not the National Assembly, review the budget and look at it and say, okay, this works and this does not work? Did they close their eyes? Were they lobbied into signing this? Or do you tell me that it's the government's, it's the president's personal money that he used for this country? What is between President Muhammadu Buhari and this Niger Republic? He has to tell us.
Let me hear your thoughts, your initial thoughts on this. What are your thoughts?
I don't
Especially because we are Big Brother, remember? The Big Brother Nigeria.
Yeah, so at first I was going to say, really, I don't have any outrage left in me when it comes to our issues. I'm desensitized to it. I'm like, I know you wake up one morning and you hear one thing, you hear the, worse. So I want to look at it a different way. Let me just try and see if I could, guess what they were thinking. So first of all, I know foreign aid, Nigeria, we get foreign aid from United States, and we understand that foreign aid is...
You're trying so hard.
Yes, I'm trying hard. So, let me go. So, I'm just guessing. Nigeria, big brother, as we say. Niger is our very close neighbor. And we've seen pictures of our very porous border between Niger and Nigeria. And a lot of us, we see a lot of Nigerians within our community. So, there's just really free movement. And if there's free movement of their citizens, there's also fear of free movements of terrorist bandits across our country. So I know that Niger, Chad, Cameroon were all in this fight against terrorism and banditry together. So Nigeria, being the big brother, is likely to put some money aside, towards foreign, aid, humanitarian aid, military aid like that, like the same way we receive from America. It's just that, I don't know, did this pass through the budget? Because this is something that would have passed through the budget. We would have been aware of it. We have looked at budgets every year it comes out, and I don't remember seeing this particular amount. And the second thing is what it was budgeted for luxury cars. It's not Tucano jets we're talking about. We're talking about, I think I heard there are Land Cruiser vehicles that were bought with this money. So in what way are we helping them militarily or to fight terrorism with those cars? So, it makes no sense in that regard. So really hard, for Nigeria to explain this. I would really like to hear how this monies that we have put aside to Niger, we've given Niger, is going to impact us.
Right. Let me come to Nima, because Nima, there's this, people are asking, because BC asked, what's our president's interest? People are saying, is our president from Niger? I mean, maybe you are really from, maybe you're a Nigerian, because there have been various arguments saying that, what is it about Niger? Because you are also building a train.
Yes,
They never finished that train, no? Is it from Kaduna? I'm not even sure which state. Kano to Niger Republic. Now you're giving them 1.something billion. And you're thinking to yourself, what is this our interest in the Niger Republic?
So I thought I had seen the worst of it when Baba Obasanjo at the time ceded Bakassi Peninsula to Cameroon under just sort of just allowed it happen without any protest at all. People whose ancestral home was seated right here in Nigeria were now, giving their lands out. But then this one, we know that up north they have ancestral, common roots with certain tribes in Niger. We've had it read over time. The Fulanis, even they share and they intermarry a lot. So that can be an excuse. But in this one, considering that train, so when he started that project of the train, what came to mind is that we're still serving our colonial masters. We're still putting our trades roots to serve them. We're still, borrowing and committing, and our sovereignty, he questioned it for me. But this 1.something billion naira gift, this one is the height of it for me. We have a budget deficit we're borrowing to service. We have a debt servicing deficit we're borrowing to service. We have a budget deficit we're borrowing to meet up. We have ASU on strike. We cannot meet up that demand. We have our oil. We are importing the final product of what God has blessed us with. And we are, paying subsidy. We are borrowing to pay it. And we have insecurity we are fighting. We have to Kano on ground. We cannot meet it. But the president, in his magnanimity, according to the Minister for Finance, Budget and Planning, in his generosity and in his own wisdom,
and his own assessments. I wish you could play that clip.
Yes, he says that, for security, they had to buy luxury cars.
Imagine that.
They did not buy Hilux. They did not buy APCs.
Tucano jet.
They did not buy Tucano jet, like Miriam said. They did not buy that for Niger, because if we had seen it was a military equipment that was being bought, or a military aiding vehicle, you will know that their aim is, of course, because, we know this war is coming from the Sahel. ISWAP is from the Sahel. We are facing Boko Haram, and that area that leads to the Sahel, which is through Niger, will be what we are beefing up. I will understand it. I've made sense of it. I know.
Nima, let's not even forget something. I just realized that there's also a 30 billion that the federal government approved for the construction of 2 roads in Sokoto and Jigawa, connecting Nigeria's borders with Niger Republic.
Hey, again, no.
We are now Niger Republicans.
It was Amechi who was Minister for Transport, who tried to defend the train. And what they said was that it was for trade. And that when trade was coming, it would mean that our ports here will become active. They make sense. But if you look at it, who's trade?
The cars are for the trade.
Morayo, who's trade? Who's trade? Who's trade? How come we are the ones with the resources? And countries who don't have our own resources, like all the countries in Africa, are the ones whose currencies are strong. What's in Britain they produce?
Hey.
I beg, make somebody educate me.
Let's go.
People should continue serving colonial masters. God is watching all of you.
There's something fishy. I'll keep saying
I will tell you where the fish is.
Our president with his own mouth says, I am tired. I can't wait to next year. And yet, in this tiredness, he's making an assessment.
This assessment was done in February. Maybe then he wasn't tired.
I'm going by that time. I'm going by the Minister of Finance's words. And in his own wisdom.
Wow.
Giving these guys 1.4 billion. Let's go on a break. Let's open our phone lines. Hey, your thoughts. Maybe we're wrong. Hey, Nigeria's a big brother. Maybe we have more money than we think. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So let's look at this conversation on the flip side. So I got a message here from someone that says that Nigeria is Africa's center of foreign policy. That's why we are responsible for many other countries. And you give an example of ECOMOG that happened. We were responsible, and that was one of the proudest moments of Nigerians, because we were there to support as big brother indeed, because, we had the resources at the time. And aside from that, we've even seen former President Obasanjo going to different countries, supporting in different ways financially. But in this situation, they used 1.4 billion to buy 10 naira, to buy 10 vehicles. Let's divide
luxury vehicles.
That's over 100 million or
each, maybe. Yeah. For instance.
So
luxury.
How is this fighting insurgency?
Fantastic.
It's really important.
So if you want to be responsible, you will be responsible with sense and common sense. If you don't have it, that's why you're supposed to have your consultants and advisors in your cabinet that will tell you, Oga, I know that you have made your special assessment and you have seen that these people need so and so. But what exactly are they going to be using luxury cars for? These cars, do they have a bulletproof in the first place? Who is going to be fighting insurgency or criminality with a luxury car? What is the need for it? Secondly, even if you had to buy a certain kind of car, depending on the need of this country you want to help, what happened to innocent motors? Why don't you patronize your own people
and create employment?
And create employment.
Just drive the motor there.
Exactly.
That
So
1.4 billion
will come back. Exactly. Will come back to the country. So you're supporting and you're growing your economy. That's how a sensible government goes on with that kind of thing. I want the civil societies. Serap, where are you?
They don't. Now Serap they shout. Serap said we want the money back. Serap is speaking already.
Suing.
Not today.
Wait. Not saying that today. It's going to start somewhere. We need to start suing this
We're all
government
talking. That's what I'm saying.
inappropriate actions. We will sue. Let the justice system, the government, now people sue the government. Let the justice system.
The job right now, because there are three arms, right? Okay. So let the second arm, the legislature, the National Assembly, begin to probe this. Where did the money come from? Because I don't think it came through them.
Who signed the money?
So that's why we have them checks and balances.
President the money drop his immunity 2023. Probe him.
Yes.
Let him to be as. Did he arrest Dasuki over security issues? We have to say a lot of this president should not go and I'm tired. Nobody should declare any health issue when he leaves the office.
Let me take this call from the UK.
Quickly.
I'll come to you, BC.
Nima.
Let me take this call. Good morning. Are you there? Hello. Good morning.
Morayo, and I wish you Johnny Messi to court in UK. What I'm going to say about this issue is that they said charity begins at home. I'm happy you are coming to UK. Please, when you arrive here, I want you to visit Nigeria.
I can't hear him.
It's the volume.
I've asked for Johnny Message for you, and you should visit Nigeria as well.
Okay, thank you. All right, so
Nima was going to say something. You know, it's not just the pain of giving out the money that we don't have. It's the way we found out.
Aha, it was leaked.
Another one.
So Nigeria had their foreign policy, and we had our African whatever policy that you just read out now, which was, you know, of course, the big brother. We played our role in ECOMOG, but none of this was hidden. None of this was shrouded in secrecy.
God bless you.
It was public document. There was disclosure.
Yeah.
Somebody released this on Twitter.
Hey.
That's how we know. And the thing is just, and they are catching crews over the thing on Twitter.
Been a secret.
In a state where there's law and order. The FEC should have sat over it. This is what we'll be doing towards security. We'll be providing so amount for them to drive BB car in Niger Republic. Maybe if all of them drive BB car, no problem with it. You know, let us know. Let Nigerians debate it. Let us say this is not our priority now. Can you move this money into our most demanding priority now, which is ASU? Can we allow students go back to school so people are engaged?
Resident doctors don't have hazard allowance.
We know that now cost of egg is now 2,500 for crate. If we think that is our economy that is priority, we'll move the money to innocent, who will in turn employ Nigerians people. And, you know, develop more parts. And certain businesses will grow here, and then you do that.
So if David Udeyi did not release this, we wouldn't know about this. Let me take this call from Port Harcourt. Good morning, sir. David, I believe. Thanks for calling.
It's Richard.
Richard, I do apologize. Go ahead.
Good morning, sir.
God bless you.
Amen. Bless you too,
God
sir.
bless you. God bless you 100 times every day.
Amen.
In fact, you just spoke my mind, and that is actually the main reason why I wanted to call. So, this can be strategic, right? If it was innocent vehicles that, you know, at least TVC has been promoting, and I want to give you thumbs up for that. If you take innocent vehicles there, and you send a team of diplomats to negotiate, maybe setting up of innocent warehouse or showroom or something to promote it. The money is in Nigeria, and you are creating more capacity for Nigerians, and you are creating jobs. Also, the president, look, we need to check this thing. Are you sure he's not mistaking Nigeria for Nigerians?
My brother.
We need to, it may sound very funny, but we need to really check that his mental capacity in that regard. We are building railway to Niger.
Thank you, Mr. Richard. Let me try to be on the president's side.
Yeah.
Somebody's
Look at how
to
depressed two of you are trying to be on the government side.
We're not listen. Let me, because I like to believe he's the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. He's our president, our leader, our father, grandfather, great-grandfather, and he's a good man. So we know he has our interests at heart. So the truth is that.
May I go? So foreign aid, giving other countries money has never been popular. Even America that does it, that seems like they can afford to, people hate that they do it. And this is something that both their major parties, do often. Nigeria is not the only country that will be giving aid from a position of a budget deficit. America does it all the time. It's in debt as well. It's just that, as hard as I'm pushing this, it's luxury cars we're talking about. It's not arms and ammunition. It's not kitting their military. It's not that we are adding our soldiers to theirs and we're talking about training their soldiers, training their military. So that's what's so hard. And the second one is that it seemed like it was done in secret. We're not meant to find out, until an investigative journalist lets us know. But whether we like it or not, there's the fact that we have that military relationship with Niger, with Chad, with Cameroon, and our countries have to fight together. And sometimes maybe it's compensation for something that they had done for us. Maybe it's compensation for some bandits and terrorists that were coming to our country. I'm not saying that's what they said to me. I'm just using my own brain.
It's true now.
That, for doing this, this is some form of compensation that we're giving you. Apart from that, really, I would love to hear from the president, to hear what his assessments were, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so that we can, continue on this line of conversation.
That's logical, because listen, you want maybe the JTF guys that have done so much work, and let me give you some of the product.
Because 1.5 billion as a country is not the 1.4 as a country is not so big.
Adekule is calling from Ibadan. Good morning, are you there? Oh, I'm so sorry.
Good morning.
No, you're here from.
Oh, he's there.
For having me.
Hello.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Yes, so I'm a student of political science and I major in international relations. And the questions we should ask is that Nigeria seems to be a big brother in the West African sub-region. But the first question we should ask is, do we get reciprocity for all of our Baba for the girls kind of philanthropy that we do? That's number one. Number two is that were the funds for this purchase duly appropriated by the National Assembly?
That's the problem.
The third point is that it is the domestic condition of a country that determines its foreign policy. The Supreme Court justices of Nigeria do not have official vehicles. Yet, we have gone to purchase luxury SUVs for Nigerians. The luxury SUVs I saw would not be used for any border patrol. They'll probably be most likely used by their government officials. So when the National Assembly resumes from their recess, we demand an investigation into this. And the other point, is about promotion of our indigenous capacity. These vehicles could have been purchased at Innocent, it could have been purchased at Pojo in Kaduna and some other places. So it is not only President Buhari who has kith and kin in other West African countries. I'm from Oyo State. I have kith and kin in Benin Republic too. I have in Togo, Ivory Coast, and Ghana. When President Obasanjo was president, there was this notorious border criminal, Amadou Tijani. Obasanjo smoked him out from Benin Republic. And that led to, the end of all of this cross-border carjacking and robbery. So
thank you very much, Mr. Adekule. Thank you about talking about the reciprocity you mentioned. The truth is that this civilian JTF that we had, I remember we had a lot of success within the borders because we had that relationship with the Niger Republic in the beginning. So this might be part of, this may be part of.
My mom sent a message. She says maybe Nigeria or part of it must have been kidnapped by Niger and the money is ransom paid. Because I guess people are trying to understand why you would want to give them that sort of money.
Makes sense. So civilian JTF was created by governors here, later approved from our own effort. Joint relief effort was done with the late leader, was it a head of state or president that they had in Nigeria at the time, who joined us, and we saw results.
Yes.
And they were fighting with us. He went to war against ISWAP.
Yeah.
Now, what the caller said about reciprocity, most of these African countries truly do not reciprocate.
They don't have the resources.
No, I will explain. Yeah. When ISWAP is coming, they come through the Sahel. We are the last country at the end of the map, if you look at the map. But how did they reach here? They just move in without any limits and come in and kidnap us on a train and put our people in an area and start to discuss issues and say that they're negotiating some things.
To be fair, some of these countries are really poor and need resources.
We are also poor right now. That's the honest truth.
We are very poor, as a matter of fact.
We are poor so that students are sitting at home. We cannot afford ordinary 1 trillion naira for ASU. We can't afford that. Poor. So really, it is from our abundance that we can be generous. And we don't have that abundance right now. Everything is tight in bed. Even mouth, we are tightening. All of us, we seem to be dieting.
All right, let me take Idris.
Excuse me.
Good morning, Idris. Are you there?
Did you just cut people out?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm here.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, it's just quite unfortunate. I really appreciate the effort of everybody in the house.
Thank you.
You people are really doing a very great job, to be candid. In addition, I just want to be brief. In addition to what one of our callers just said there, beyond security threat or banditry, what about if it's just for vote buying advance? Knowing particularly about borders we share, innocent share the Republic. Now, everywhere is tense based on policy. We can't deny the fact 2000, the next
I can't hear him. He's muffled. I'm sorry, you couldn't hear him.
A wise man cannot pour from an empty cup. That is why the country keeps imploding. What is happening in different areas is a form of implosion. Because we have people who are agitating for certain needs. How did this banditry start? They needed some things that the president promised them. Good health care, quality education, a good environment. Those were basic needs that an ordinary human being is entitled to in any country. And the government failed to give it to them. And they have taken arms and criminality. I'm not giving an excuse for that, but they had a basis for what they are doing today. And yet, you are considering other countries. You cannot keep doing things the same way and expect a different result. If you clean up your house, ensure that some things are working. And even if you say, okay, we have a little spare here, let's see what we can do for those other countries. They would even better appreciate what you're doing. I travel to African countries all the time. They have no value for Nigerians. We sit here and we talk about how Ghana is treating Nigerians in their country. We sit here and talk about how South Africans are treating Nigerians in their country. I've gone to Botswana, they have no respect for Nigerians. And that is the truth. Because they have realized that the so-called Big Brother is not by brute force or by population. It's about how you are able to steady your economy so that other people can look up to you. That's what makes you a Big Brother.
I argue that a bit because I think Nigerians are well respected.
I hear you.
I don't want to make that general statement.
I hear you. I've been to the countries I called, though. I did not hear from outside.
I'm just saying
and I have people in those countries.
I know there are people who respect. I think we're one of the smartest black people in the world, black nation in the world. So I don't want us to generalize ourselves. However, another thing this matter brings to the fore is how power resides in one man. That is like, I don't understand how I am president. Okay, you 1.5 billion, go and give it to buy this one.
Father Christmas.
Doesn't that affect us?
Yes, but also it brings to question, the Minister for Finance. She says, I cannot question him.
Yeah,
so I'm asking, what are the ministers meant to do?
If
you cannot question yes, I know you're an appointee, but you're also like an advisor.
Yeah.
So That's why even when our economy is crumbling, sometimes we call out the Minister for Finance, we call out the CBN governor, we're saying you're not putting the policies. We know that you have an Oga, but you are the one in charge of this. Yes. And so if your Oga is going a certain way, we're expecting that you're advising your Oga to do this right. And in the case, and in the case where he refuses to take the right steps consistently, and you know it would affect your reputation, can you resign and say, because my stance and my values do not, they are not in tandem with the president at this time, I've decided to excuse myself from carrying out this duty. Then you bring, you bring integrity to yourself and to your name, because this administration will come and go, but your legacy will live forever.
But that is why leaders try to bring in people that they know they can control. Like the people that don't know they can.
It's good to take an appointment from a place of strength. So compared to Konjo-Iweala, she came from the World Bank. She had nothing to lose. If I do it, I go back. If I not do it, I go back. So she called out when they wanted to share the wealth. She said, I do not support this. She advised the president against it at the time. They continue to argue. All the governors, she put out everything that is the governors, led by Amechi at the time. All of them asking that we share this money. Nobody can call her out. And she put it out there. And she even at some suggested, I would stop. I will step down.
Yes.
Let's move to Dora. Dora, everything that, was threatening her position as the NAFDAC boss, she came from a place of strength. She had nothing to fear. So she would say, I will not approve this. I went to these countries are so and therefore banned. And government will say, we have some relationship with them. We have treaties with them. They are giving us loan like China. She called out their drugs standard. She called out India. She did the right thing. And she also put the option, I will step down if it's no longer working for me. They moved out from there to One Information, Nigerian Clinic Company.
And she called that.
And she still continued to do her job. So I don't want a person to take a job from a place of where I'm saying I'm helpless. There's also the issue for me. These cars, 10 cars and I'll buy you.
10, 1.4 billion. Please do the division. How much is one?
140.
No, divided by 10, that's 140. Yeah.
As the motor don't reach 140 million. When I want to buy motor now.
Hey, you not buy this, or you buy a small.
I want, sincere, I want. Come and give me an arrangement. Because, to buy a car now.
I thought it was about 70 million or something for land.
No,
the land cruiser. I think it was about 70 or 80 million.
There are some specs and stuff.
The dollar rates too.
Dollar rate affect the car and I want to donate, and people do not rethink it. That's let me just sit down. This matter.
Hey.
I'll be watching.
Yakub, are you there? 140 million.
Yakub, please help us.
You're live.
Good morning.
How much is it?
Morayo, I don't know how managed you assemble this your few things.
It's God.
You people, you are just being too great. The intelligence is there, the tenacity is there, the ability to reason very well is there. You just miss a lot of goodies together. I give you people kudos, especially Morayo. I don't know how managed you do it, but you did very well. But I would say that, Morayo, you see, one thing about this country is this. The corruption is on the move. See, after this 2023, whoever gets to that seat, I know a lot of people that work with this government could have been at back of the counter or in jail. Because let me say this, Morayo, if this very particular transaction does not pass through National Assembly, where the money comes from? Who appropriates the money? Is it, I didn't mean we have a National Assembly that is half Nigerian citizens at heart. They plus call off their reflection and go back to National Assembly to put this very particular issue. That is just it. Then, I would say that, Morayo, we are talking about our economy is not doing well. That is to tell you, imagine the kind of Minister of Finance that we have that cannot look eyeball to his master, to tell his master that, oh, come, sir, you are not doing well, I'm not going to do this. If you fail to abide by my heart, because I'm a professional in terms of finance, and then I'm advising you, and then you don't want to take that, I'm resigned. Look at what she said. She said she cannot do this.
Thank you, Yakub. I lost that. I lost it. All right, let's take a few comments on social media, but I guess...
Well, there's also a link, because David today wrote this thing and sort of linked it to the present Counsel General's progress happening on the criminal trial. So we're saying how many more of such transactions were approved that he had to release funds for, that, will be coming up in the course of trial, and suddenly somebody will just escape. I don't understand, because we're trying to say this man siphoned monies, and we're saying now that 1.4 of the money was what the president ordered to be transferred.
Many people are we still have these Kaduna victims. They've been kidnapped, not able to pay their ransom. No. Everybody that comes out says it was their own family that paid. Government has not paid 1 naira, but they are paying 140 billion to buy car for a Nigerian. Very interesting. Very interesting time.
So
let's take a few comments. Let me go on a break. I think when I come back, we'll take those comments. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Oh wow.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Okay, we're going to wrap up on this conversation. So let's not make it a whole day topic, but let us take a few comments.
So Praise Olatunbosun says, good morning, ladies. I think it's a bad idea. Even in generosity, the people of Niger do not need luxury cars. They need some other things. Our government has no justification for giving them such cars. Chidi Obiuku says, Nigerian constitution on the president is too much. The president needs to bring down its power. Buhari does anything without thinking of Nigerians.
Obo says, did I hear Miriam talk of ministers resigning? I laugh in 7D. Madam, it won't happen with the crop of selfish politicians that we have here. Gabriel says, America and UK give aids to other countries, including Nigeria, but they do it, but when they do it, it's always attached to logical things, to the extent that Nigeria bought warwares and still tell us how to use them.
True.
This one says 1.4 billion for the purchases of 10 SUVs for Niger Republic, but ASU is still on strike. Okay. Even though you don't want to pay ASU, you preach and buy and sell made in Nigeria, why not contract Innocent to deliver the job?
Okay, let's take a few more.
Okay.
Vincent Adegbola says, it's sad here when people claim PDP is responsible for Buhari's APC's failures. Buhari is insensitive to the plight of Nigerians.
Okay, I have to wrap up. I think, for me, one of the high points of my career, I hope, will be to interview Buhari one-on-one. So let me not be too, let me not yapping too much. But the point is, I think it would be foolish for us to think that this was some kind of a gift, because I think there's so much more to this conversation that we even understand. We don't know, because if we're aiding somebody because of insurgency, you talk about weapons, you talk about ammunition, you talk about kitting, as you said, not SUVs. There's something more to it that we're yet to find out. So I would like to put it forward to David Unenyo, whoever else is investigating this, to let's probe further and see what exactly is the issue. Who are these SUVs going to?
Have they received
it? Who's driving it? To what need? What exactly is the need? So let's be clear, because we're not really sure of what this is about.
The government just because I was thinking of the reciprocity issue again. Yeah. So the President Buhari, in his first term, his agenda was about climate change and recovering the Lake Chad River Basin. He says that because drought is what is pushing cattle rearers inwards, and he brought about the cattle and farmers, herder and farmers clashes, and that one of the solutions would be to dredge or something, recover the water and the Lake Chad River Basin. What happened? These other countries that were to benefit from it did not secure what we invested there. It was wasted. If that area had been recovered as he had proposed, and he said he would have ensured that farming continued up north, all those countries too would benefit from it. What did they do? They sat down, they did nothing. And then you look at all of that that has gone down the drain. You gave them 1.4 billion. You gave your friends.
All right, we have to wrap up on this. Thank you very much. So that's all we can take on this segment. We just hope, I personally would like to believe that the president understands what he's doing, and hopefully he did this in the interest of our country. And I really hope in the next few days or few weeks, we'll see the reason why this was necessary, hopefully. But also we'd like the National Assembly to probe this when they resume. Where did the money come from? Please follow the money. That's the least you can do for the Nigerian people. Let's go on a break. When we come back, move on to other topics. It's Thursday. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So the ladies of Your View will lend their voice to the story of the 39-year-old physically challenged Nigerian man, Alika Ugochukwu, who was killed and strangled to death by an Italian man in Italy, while bystanders stood there looking and did nothing. They filmed the event in broad daylight without any apparent attempt to intervene. The report was also claimed that the Italian man has been diagnosed with bipolar disorder. His wife has been crying for justice, as the wife of the deceased has been crying for justice, because according to her, the pain is too much, and she's fearful that this might be swept under the carpet. Since this report came out, the conversation has started. Many people have come out to condemn this act, and even the chairman of NIPCOM, the Nigerian in Diaspora Commission, has also come out to say that the Nigerian Commission is working with the Italian government to ensure that the man who has been arrested, that justice indeed will be served. But beyond that, Nigerians living abroad will always bring this kind of issues to the bear, because it's important for us to remind ourselves of how important it is to have strong international relations so that we can protect our citizens abroad. What are your thoughts? I mean, so far I know the chairman of NIPCOM had told us that the man has been arrested, which is a good thing. They're claiming he's bipolar, but she also said that they're trying to see if the wife can be compensated. Yeah. So with a job, and justice will be served, and give her something to at least to make ends meet, because the man was begging, according to the story. Do you think this would be enough? In your thoughts?
This matter, because I sent this story. This man wasn't exactly begging. So he's lived in Italy with his wife, and they've always worked. He had an accident that led to him using crutches on one of his legs. And so he started to sell scarves. The murderer, in this case, who murdered him in broad daylight, was working with his girlfriend. He approached them to buy the lady to buy a scarf. And she said, I don't need a scarf. Normal, what's it called?
Assistance.
Persuasive marketing.
Bargaining.
So he continued to say, buy a scarf, or you give me something, can't you see? Using his disability to approach her. And then, bam, the person took the crutch from him, landed on him, punched him, decapacitated him. Before you knew, people were making videos in broad daylight. Now, there are several angles to this, and how this encourages, this racism and the continuous effect of it. We had 2 weeks or 2 months ago, or a month ago, about the 2 Nigerians that were murdered in Canada. Before you know, this now becomes a trend. This is why I wanted us to lend a voice, because when it is a black man who kills somebody, or an Arab, is a terrorist, is a wicked person, he doesn't have any mental issues. The first defense, when it's a white man or in their own country, it comes bipolar, is mentally deranged. They start to reduce the consequence of the broad daylight murder. What you get at the end of the day is that maybe they give him a few years, he goes and comes out, and they wipe it off his record, and he continues to live freely. These days starts the trend that is okay, once the skin color changes, to land somebody in the afternoon in broad daylight in anybody's country and start to kill them.
All right, so we've seen Italians come out to protest. I mean, many of them have come out criticizing this murder, obviously. So I don't want it to look as if the entire community is in agreement with what happened. So many have come out and said this is condemnable. But what are your thoughts? Because I just don't feel totally protected.
Who are the Italians that are protesting, and who were the ones standing there and taking a video? I just don't get it. How is it that it was just normal for them to just be looking at broad daylight while another person... We have seen in America where they say a police person put someone down and you see people all around. I don't know. They don't have sticks that they throw at someone if they're afraid for their own lives. Is there no stick you can bang the other one, on the back? Or is it just because it's a black man? Or is it because it's just a black man and it's okay for that to go away? See, they've done their worst, and I'm really so heartbroken and so sorry for his wife and his family. But this is where Nigeria has to show that. This is when we want to show Big Brother, this is where you show Big Brother. This is where you will make sure that justice is properly served. If he's bipolar, how many Italians has he killed before he killed this Nigerian? Do you understand what treatment has he been getting? Is he a bipolar man on the loose, going about killing people, and then when it comes to the Nigerians, okay, so for me, there must be, it's a lot more than compensation. In fact, that we're already talking about compensation so early into this case is annoying, meaning that is what they want to do. Quickly, let's compensate her and shut this down. Make sure that man goes to prison for a very long time, or whatever their maximum sentence for murder is in that country. It's just so wrong and unfair. And Nigeria needs to take a very strong and firm stand so that not only Italy and all of the other countries in Europe and America will understand that in Nigeria we don't accept you killing our people and going away scot-free.
According to their news report, it says that this 32-year-old Falazzo was recently at the psychiatric hospital citing in court in his hometown, Salerno, and the investigating judge quoted Falazzo's lawyer as saying that he had apologized and made it clear that there was no racial motivation. That's him. So we understand how in the courts you can always make these claims just to reduce the sentencing. However, do you think the Italian government can do more, especially to the Nigerian government, to show that, listen, this matter will be treated fairly and ensure that justice indeed is served? Because they are saying it right now.
Italian government will only do as they feel, the sort of heat the Nigerian government gives to them. If they explain to us and we just pack our bag and say, okay, shake hands, all right, since we're going to be compensating them because we want to quickly rush down to our country and mind our business, they would take it lightly. But if the Nigerian government puts their foot down and insists that this is a criminal offense, whether it's bipolar or not bipolar, this is a criminal offense, first of all, so that we take out the issue of racism, because this smells to me like a form of racism. Now, when it comes to the bystander standing, this has become a global problem. It's not just in that country. Even in Nigeria, we see people burning tires and everybody just pick up their phone. Bakam, they are watching. It's safer or more interesting for them to do a live and post it on their page than getting into the crossfire to help the person who is being maimed. So it's a global problem, and it's what we need to begin to deal with. The sort of education we need to begin to give to people to say that when you see an injustice right in front of you, step in. If you cannot step in, scream and get security agencies to step in and not just stand and, watch. Then when you are done, everybody's posting on social media and we're not able to do things right. Now, also, there's a lesson I have picked from here. You know the way we behave when we are in marketplaces. You are meeting somebody to buy something and the person says no. We don't know how to accept no. This is a lesson. Wherever you are, whether it's in this country, outside this country, when somebody says no, give them space, because this is more like an excuse now. Because I said no, you kept pushing and I just had to. That's when the bipolar took over. Most people are mad, though. That's the truth. Most people are mad. You really do not know when you will meet a mad person. This is something that could have been avoided.
But you see, when crimes happen, we always say, wasn't there a CCTV? Wasn't there one camera? You would think that in Italy there will be a CCTV camera on the street somewhere to know exactly if it was premeditated, if you have been passing there a few days before, saying like this man. There could be different reasons. You can actually build a case. But it doesn't tell us here there's a CCTV.
It tells us. So he ran off from the scene of the crime and he was traced via CCTVs around to wherever he was arrested.
That's the murderer.
The murderer. Also, he took off the phone of the victim. He beat and killed him. He promoted him.
So he's a thief.
Yes, on top of it. So this is a clear case. I would love that Nigerian government, if we can hold a watching brief on this, try as much as possible to rebut every effort of theirs to raise a mental case, a mental defense in this.
Mental defense is everybody raises it. Almost
because if you don't visit your friend inside mental home abroad, you can claim that you have visited the mental home. What we need is that if you cannot establish a history of that mental...
Hospitalized.
Who did he kill before then?
Apart from saying it was recently. I know, say for you, if it says I get depression, everybody have depression. Right now with the 1.4, all of us, we are depressed.
Depression came immediately on this.
So we want to know whether it's that type of bipolar.
But you also
that there's a real history. And a possibility. The officers may say, how many Italians did he beat in primary school, secondary school in his bipolar state? Who has he attempted to kill before? That is of his own.
Also, we need to look at the victim. The victim was very vulnerable. This is physically. See, I'm saying that the victim himself was vulnerable. He's physically challenged. And then you grab him with your own able-bodied 2 hands and 2 legs and you killed him. So the defense for their own mental health may be there, but there's also defense for his own physical health. He was not able to run and properly defend himself. Maybe he could do that. I get what you're saying about giving people space, but there's no justification or rationalization for what he did. And I feel that with someone like that, it wasn't about that he was asked, if you're in a public place and someone is in your space, you get up and you leave that person. The physically challenged man, how fast would he have run after him? Yeah. He just did it because, one, whether they like it or not, it was easy target. He was black. He was physically challenged, just easy. And then he was standing there and all the other Italians were watching as a Nigerian was being killed. That was why he did it.
Someone in Twitter, Charles Obi says, I live in Italy. It is their culture by looking and not interfering. It's quite unfortunate that demand that is their way. If two people are fighting, they don't used to put hand. But
the person dies.
If two people of different physical strength are fighting, you still don't put hand in Italy. Okay, well, they didn't put hand, but he stole his phone off of him. What was his motive?
So far, the Nigerian government has done what they can do, because right now we need stronger foreign policy, definitely. But however, I think the government has done the best they can do. What else can you do?
No. I
what else do you think the government can do? Because aside from ensuring or telling the Nigerian embassy there, the Nigerian Commission to ensure that justice is served, what else can you do?
You have to follow through. It's not just saying.
They've already provided a lawyer to support.
Yes.
So what else can you do?
They need to fund this lawyer to support. Say we don't hear tomorrow that the lawyer did not have money again to go to court, and so they left the matter. They need to be on ground. All the resources. No, listen now.
I think NIPCOM has actually done that job.
The lawyer has to be a better lawyer, not charge and bail. That's one. Two, all the resources this lawyer needs. Nima is laughing. Sorry, my darling. All the resources this lawyer needs must be provided. Three, we must keep following through. There should be meetings had regularly with the justice system to find out where are we, what more can we do. We must see this to the end. The media also has a role to play. Let's not talk and forget about it. Let's follow up. From time to time, we can have...
better follow up.
Yes, yes.
You know how CNN will go? The black man that killed the white man, they'll talk about it today. They'll talk about it 5 times in 24 hours. Then they'll talk about it 10 times in 48 hours. They'll keep it on the news forever.
But the
reason why they are keeping it in the news constantly is because there's something to report. So the lawyer has entered the court. The court has answered him. He has gone to get... there has to be something that we're also doing on the government side so that we are reporting. But we have to follow this.
We have forgotten Ekwemadu, for example, now.
Who has forgotten Ekwemadu? We take his story every day.
Someone took his story yesterday.
So we need somebody to follow up with that story.
We don't forget
that one now.
This particular
justice for Alika is important.
It's extremely important.
But I think what the NIPCOM chairman was trying to say was, listen, yes, they're demanding justice to be served, but they're also asking. So they've not offered compensation. They are asking, compensate this one. Because
in the interim.
They need the woman needs something, a means of livelihood.
If it is part of their justice system, in some justice systems, I know it's very common in the Arab countries where monetary compensation is also paid for in life. It can be included. It can be justice in Arab countries also where they call it D, I think, money for life.
Okay.
It can be paid.
Do you know the only part about this compensation it comes across as if the life wasn't worth much, that we are quickly talking about compensation.
No, the money
is
too early.
Okay, so we have to wrap up on this because I think generally we've agreed that Nigerian government must follow this case through.
Make noise.
Only Alika must not die in vain, and I think that's what the chairman of the NIPCOM has said clearly. We're going to ensure. And also, she mentioned about the 2 Nigerians that died in Canada.
Yes.
She talked about that. Those 2 young,
as well.
We took that story to really. That also, they're working on that to ensure that justice is served because those 2 were murdered in cold blood at the nightclub. Really, really sad
because
story.
where is safe now?
Gubola says, notice to all overseas countries, all Nigerian fraudsters, cultists, and criminals tarnishing our image abroad, they are bipolar. They have bipolar disorder. Kindly provide health assistance. Majority of us are
Dubai
and healthy.
Those clowns are
due to their bipolar.
Okay, let's go on a break. Can we come? We have not discussed marriage and family matters. What's going on? Nobody's snapping wife today. Let's go on a break. When we come back, we'll find a family matter. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So we're going to open our phone lines and take a few comments on social media on this topic. Mariam, you have some?
Well, not on this topic. There's still messages from the last. So Saidu Abdullah, he said, ladies, especially the person who says African countries don't regard us anymore. Charity begins at home. When a Niger person will bash his or her country, her people on social media and World Wide Web, and you're hoping others will help you praise what you yourself.
Oh, let me stay there for a second. Oh, because that's what we do to ourselves. Yes, Nigeria is horrible in a lot of cases. Nigeria can be frustrating. This news depressed every Nigerian. 1.4 billion for 10 cars. It's depressing.
Yeah, it is.
But there are ways you convey this message to the world. We're constantly, it's our easiest pastime when we're talking to our friends, when we travel, oh, it's just terrible, it's horrible. Of course, they're going to use that to treat you because your country doesn't treat you in any regard.
But we say it like other countries don't bash their countries as well. I watch all the American whatever. Their regular people are constantly bashing their government. They talk about different things. They're allowed to, and they're also allowed to be patriotic. You can be both. You can call them out on their bad behavior and still be patriotic to your country. You're bashing them. Well, I hate to use the word bash, but you're calling them and criticizing them because you want better. And I've seen other countries do the same.
But do we do that balance, Nimbara? Can you
if one person is criticizing another person, there's constant balance. I mean, here we are today. Two of them were criticizing, two of us trying to balance.
If you ever try to balance in this country, they say, oh, you are APC. Oh, they are paying you something. Oh, you are PDP. They are paying you something. Oh, you are connected to somebody. You cannot be a patriot in this country because they'll say you are learning from them. So they don't regard patriotism. They rather you bash because the reason why we're being celebrated on social media today because we yabbed Buhari this morning. Now we are celebrating. They're all praising us. Oh, fantastic, well done, good. Because we are yabbing. That's when our natural mode is just bash. So once we bash on social media, they praise us. But once we try to be objective, they say, oh, they paid them.
All right, but aside that, I don't think that's the reason why we're not treated well because of how we relate with each other here. We're not treated well because of what our government represents. Constantly, they are saying the issues that we have, and they are saying how government is responding to the issues that we have. And that's what they're taking. Not that we are sitting here to, criticize the government. We are supposed to criticize the government. That's why we are here. And if we don't criticize the government wouldn't know how to do better. So it's how the government is reacting with all these debts that will show the people outside, you can't mess with a Nigerian. It's like you touching the hair on the head of an American. You know that their government will come after you. How do you represent us? How do you take care of your own people outside? Not how your people are bashing each other.
They have their own headache.
Of course they do. I told you now, when I went to New York, the first TV station I watched was a panel like this, women, constantly calling out the governor, president at the time, Donald, insulting. He was heavy. I was like, yo, this is another your view. They do that within themselves. But when they go out, how does the government stand for them if anything happens? That's what our government needs to do. But I have some comments here.
We also have Yahoo people that are out there.
Nigerians, we do this too often. We sell ourselves short. We gaslight ourselves just to make points.
Yeah.
Nigerians go on Twitter. This country is ruined. Even on this morning, yesterday when I was reading about the 1.4 billion, everybody under the comment, this country is depressed. We use negatives too often. Yeah. And when you see anybody come from this country that we're talking, this America, let's just use America, they will tell you it's our God's own country. Yeah. When they want to talk about their country to another country, they don't kill their country. They can talk about it within themselves. Yeah. But every Nigerian that cross border come, somebody landed in Canada yesterday. Hero for gram. Left, right, and center. The person that is watching him coming saying, this one does not have where to go. If I do anything to him, he's helpless.
Yeah.
But nobody read it like that. Nigerians went on that if Nami go, I go do past like that. I just kept saying to myself, is there another form of colonialism? Why is nobody seeing it abnormal? The person watching him like that, take advantage of him, will be looking at it. He's happy. He's happy.
So that kind of person, listen, that kind of person will enter a public restaurant and is excited. I'm from Africa. I'm Nigerian. Looking so happy and
in a country where you are 1%.
And then they're looking at you and say, "Oh my goodness, he's so grateful he's here."
Yeah.
And they see it in your countenance. That you're so grateful that you're there.
My parents went on the Hajj in year 2000, and when they returned, my mom kept saying, "I didn't know we were minorities on the Hajj." The black people were just a few. Everybody else in the world seems to have the same skin color. only black people. We're just small. That's how it is in the world. When you go there, you're shouting. Better kukuma pipe low when you land. If focus on what you are going, your purchasing power is why you relocated. Focus on that purchasing power. Don't go there and loud noise and make noise and then we become what we experience in South Africa.
That's one. Don't go there and be a fraudster.
I say to them, home is a cost country. I'm coming from a cost place. Nigerians say these things all the time.
And when you just newly arrive like that, you first of all come with the bashing ready. You're ready to even denigrate the country totally. It's after you live there a long time, you now realize that, this place is not as... you're not able to compare both. And you still understand, okay, yes...
Everybody
has populate our foreign people here, Indians and Lebanese. You never hear them tell you about their country in negatives.
I have.
As tough as India is, I've never seen an Indian tell me India is a cost country, never to go back.
They
it's
show
a piece
us in
of
their
something.
movies anyway.
No,
they
package their country in their movies
that address their issues. I've been binging on Indian movies.
I have actually
healthcare, different issues. They address
Nigerians do
in
it
their
too much.
movies.
We do it too much, and we must learn to sell ourselves well. The way we want to be addressed, we must sell ourselves that way.
We should behave well. I know we sell.
If you start well, you don't stand too well. I will push you off the road.
I understand, but I think every citizen of every country, we have that part. We call out our country. I've been in Dubai, and an Indian woman was asking, where are you from? When I said Lagos, she was like, oh, I lived there, some years back. I really love the place. And she compared it to their own capital, and she says it's so dirty and so hard. So everybody, yes, but I have met someone. The thing is, we're allowed to criticize our government because we want better. But it's not that these other people don't criticize their government. What they do that is deliberate, I think in their movies and some of their, maybe on their media, their international media, because when you go to the local ones, you hear them talk about their government. They are deliberate about passing on a positive patriotic message. So maybe we can do that on that level, but that would not stop us from calling out bad behavior locally.
But this is international media here now, is it not? So how do we now package the message?
This is local media.
But they watch it on DSTV. Yes, so how do we now package our message so that we present ourselves the way we are not?
Andrew Stratham says, LOL, if Morayo is coming to London, bring dried fish, dried shrimp, good Gary from my state, dried fish from BC's village.
So there's an update from NIDCOM. The special assistant to the chairman NIDCOM says 15 euros were raised for the family of the victim.
15 euros?
15,000 euros.
You and Auntie, please get this thing correct.
Sorry.
Auntie.
No verse. 15,000 euros were raised for the family of the victim by Italian authorities. Nigerian communities, they are also very actively involved, and they have another meeting to hold today between the mission and the Italian officials on this matter.
So we stick together. You see, another part of it is that Nigerians, when we want to be patriotic, when we live abroad, when we go out, we are more patriotic eventually.
Yeah.
Because
we see the big picture.
You see the bigger picture. Yeah. You see other communities, the Chinese, see how they're together. You now begin to think, okay, you now suddenly become proud of being a Nigerian because now you feel like you want to project who you are. Doesn't mean that you pack your load, but the point is that I like the fact that the Nigerian community in Italy are coming together to support this woman. Not just that, what is more important is for us to see justice being served. So we know that the lawyers use all sorts of technicalities to get this man shut out, to limit his sentence, also to get him off. But what we would like NIDCOM to ensure is just like you said, get a correct lawyer.
A correct
one. To do the job, not a...
Charge and bail. Nima will beat me after the show.
Not one of those lawyers that will say, sorry, we accept whatever it is. Let's take a few comments and we run off. I think that's all we can take on the show
the comments,
today.
So I want to appeal to our YouTube fans. They're always fighting themselves, always disagreeing with each other's views. Please, you people should fight less so that I can get comments to read.
Let me see something. The show, and what I love about this show is that we've been able to gather women with different views. And I think if Nigerians haven't learned that in 9 years of doing this show, then there's a problem. We must agree to be different. We must agree to disagree on different issues. You have a different point. I must understand your point, express my point, be understood, and accept it, and we can still shake hands. That's the entire objective of this show. So if we have Nigerians still fighting over issues, we shouldn't fight. If you are pro this, say it with confidence and with your full chest, as you've taught me. Full chest.
Full chest.
Yes, say it with your full chest.
You're learning.
And the other one, the other side, say our full chest, and we're still Nigerians because at the end of the day, this is our country.
Yeah.
And every conversation I might yap Buhari today. If he calls me tomorrow to my interview, I'll call and interview him because I have a lot of questions for President Muhammadu Buhari, and I'm sure we all do too. So we have an opportunity because, trust me, we are still, no matter how much we criticize, we still want the interest of this country. These are the whole thing we're saying is at the heart of the interest of this country. You know, so I think I'd like to wrap up.
I want to take this with he says, if he is bipolar, that's on this topic we just took, it can be determined by a court-appointed expert team. No criminal offense. Sorry, only compensation is not adequate. But questions will then be, who let him loose to be killing people? There may be individual institutional liabilities also if we look at it, if it truly was bipolar. Immaculate Boy says, even madmen in Nigeria will kill and take valuables from their victims. Please let the law serve its course. Like Bisi said, it happens in our market. Sister, come and buy now. You hold hands. Why? And you know, we can also continue on the case. And then Saidu Abdullah says, okay, Miriam took that one already. Professor Imoneha Enachena says, our governor are emperors. They defied presidential executive bill on local government autonomy. Even National Union of Local Government Employees and critics cannot be bothered. If 36 governors, irrespective of political affiliation, are driven by common goal to secure Nigeria, they can. Talking about the 1.4 billion.
Okay, I think that's all we can take on the show today. In a nutshell, Nigerians would like that the government strengthen our foreign policy. And to do that, we need to also ensure that we support Nigerians abroad. Nigerians abroad must know that we can always go to the Commission, the Nigerian Commission, for support. And I think it's important that everybody who lives abroad identify the Nigerian embassy, know their numbers. Don't just be in another country. Always, even if you're handicapped, you've lost your job, communicate, let them know who you are. Because the truth is that these kinds of things can be avoided when they have a strong presence, when we have a strong presence in different countries. And then they know that, okay, we are very effective. And aside from that, I think Nigerians also expect the government on this matter to follow through to the end and would like to see that indeed justice is served. Concerning President Muhammadu Buhari and his assessment of the relationship with Niger Republic, we would like to hear from him.
Please.
What exactly was in his mind when he approved 1.4 billion naira? Who the cars are going to? What do they need it for? And if indeed the National Assembly will be willing to probe this decision. That is what Nigerians are asking this morning. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.